Hey there, Seb by the Realtor here. In this video, I'm going to go over the top 5 myths about selling your home. If you want to find out what people say is true but really isn't when it comes to selling a home, you're definitely going to want to watch this video. All right, without any further ado, I'm just going to jump right on into it. Well, myth number 1 is that you need to spend a lot of money getting your home ready for sale before you put it on the market. And that is totally not true. You can sell any house completely as is without doing a single thing to it. You don't have to cut the lawn. You don't have to pick the dirty laundry up off the floor or take the dishes up out of the sink. You can put a for sale sign in the front yard and have people coming through your home hours later. And in fact, minutes after that, you could be getting offers on your house so long as the price is right. That's the thing, is that when you have a very attractive price, buyers will overlook some of those condition issues that a higher price buyer might not be so enamored with, but a lower price buyer is going to be all over that. They won't care because what they mostly care about is the thing they should care about, which is the location, lot size, square footage, that kind of stuff. And that is really what drives the value of your home anyway. You're going to get these buyers in who are going to say, wow, that's a pretty attractive price for the neighborhood. They're going to come in, they're going to say, hey, there's nothing really wrong with this house that a little paint and flooring won't fix. And then you're going to start getting offers. You're going to start getting a bidding war going. Buyers are going to be competing against each other, and they're going to drive the price higher and higher and higher to the very highest price that the market will bear. And I think that you will find that many times the price that these buyers are willing to pay will be far higher than what you would have been able to make had you perhaps first put $20, $30, $40, $50, $100,000 into the property, getting it ready for sale. Because oftentimes these kinds of pre-sale renovations do not really give the kind of payout that you think that you need to get. Most of the time you can get a really, really great price just selling your home completely as is. And I do suggest that you address the low-hanging fruit. Yes, I do suggest you mow your lawn. Yes, I do suggest you pick up the dirty laundry. Yes, I do suggest that you put away the dirty dishes in the sink. Obviously, make your home presentable. Do what you can for curb appeal. But don't feel bad if you don't have the means to put a bunch of money into your house to get it ready for sale, because that is totally not necessary to get a really great price and fantastic terms in a short period of time. All right, and myth number 2 is that you should price your home at about what you expect it to sell for. That is a critical mistake, and the reason why is because when you put the price at about what you expect it to sell for, you are usually going to be wrong. About 95% of the time, you're going to be wrong. The price is higher or lower than the price you think it's going to sell for, and usually it is actually lower than that, which means that when you price it at what you think it's going to sell for, you're guessing high. And overpricing your home is the single worst thing you can possibly do, because that is going to cut into your final sale price more than any other factor. So don't make the mistake of pricing it about what you think it's going to sell for, because you run the very significant risk of being wrong and overpricing your home. What you should do is you should price it strategically. You should price it below what you expect it will sell for, because when you do that, especially if you price it significantly below what you think it's going to sell for, where you're not going to be wrong about that, you're going to have a lot of interest in the property. You're going to get many buyers coming through your door very quickly. You'll get offers very quickly. You'll get buyers competing and boosting the price up very, very quickly to the absolute highest price that the market will bear. So do not make the mistake of pricing your home at what you think it's going to sell for. That is a total myth. Price it low and let the market and negotiation do its thing. All right, and now myth number 3 is that you need to do open houses to sell your home. You know, a lot of people don't want to do open houses because they don't want a bunch of unqualified looky-loos or their neighbors or whatever coming through their house. They're just not about that. They really would rather sell their houses without doing an open house. And some realtors may tell you that you have to do an open house in order to get your house sold. But I have proof positive that is absolutely not true. Because in fact, in one of the busiest times in modern memory, we were selling houses like hotcakes, and there were no open houses whatsoever. What am I talking about? I'm talking about, of course, the pandemic. There was about 6 months there where open houses were prohibited by law pretty much everywhere in California. And you know what happened? Houses were selling at record prices, at a record pace. We were selling houses left and right. We couldn't keep them in stock. And not a single one of those was sold with an open house. You do not need to have an open house in order to get your house sold. Now, you may want to have an open house as part of the home selling strategy. And I myself do lots of open houses. But if you don't want an open house, and there are good reasons not to want to do an open house, you should know that by no means is that a requirement in order for you to get your house sold and to get the very best price and terms possible. All right, and now myth number 4 is that your first offer is normally your best offer. You hear realtors say that a lot, and in fact, your first offer oftentimes is not your best offer. I don't really have any kind of data to tell you how often your first offer is your best offer, but I'm going to say actually it's very rare that your first offer is your best offer. What may be true is that your first buyer who writes an offer may be the best buyer with whom you should be working. That could possibly be true, but it's very rare that the first offer from anybody is in fact their best offer. You should know that most buyers, when they write an offer, especially if they don't feel they are competing against any other offers on the table at the time, they will not make their first offer their best offer. They will usually leave some room to negotiate, and oftentimes they will leave quite a bit of room to negotiate. So when you get that first offer, even if it is a lowball offer, I do advise that you work with that buyer. I have seen many buyers come up considerably, $100,000, sometimes $200,000 or more than that on their very first offer, even when it was a lowball offer, even when they were competing against nobody, because they were just testing the seller to see where they are. So don't believe that the first offer you get is your best offer. I say pay attention to that offer, see what you can do with it. But if it turns out that offer is not really a price that you can deal with, don't feel bad about it, let it go. And if the value is solid, another buyer will come along and make you a better offer. All right, and now myth number 5 is that cash is king. This is a really old one. You hear this a lot, cash is king. And maybe back in the olden days, cash was king, but these days, cash isn't really king. In fact, cash isn't really cash. A lot of times people make cash offers, but they're not actually cash. They are cash and private money. They are cash and a HELOC. They are cash and they're going to refi their house. They're cash and they're bringing on a family member to give me the rest of the cash. It's not actual cash that they have in the bank. So that's one thing to consider, is that when you're looking at a cash offer, not all cash is created equal. The second thing to consider is that many buyers today who are writing offers here in the Bay Area especially, even if they are getting a loan, and even if that loan requires an appraisal, which they all do, buyers are writing offers without a loan or an appraisal contingency, the same as if they were paying in cash. Now, why would a buyer be doing that? A buyer is doing that because they may have a very big down payment. Maybe they're putting down 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% down, right? So they're not really worried about getting a low appraisal, and they are very well qualified buyers, right? With that much equity, the lender is not going to look too askance at the fine print of the borrower, right? With that kind of heavy down payment, the lender almost can't go wrong. So these kinds of loans are almost a slam dunk. And the reality is that today many adroit lenders are able to close escrow in 10 or 12 days. A lot of lenders can close very, very quickly, especially when they are working with these very well qualified buyers who have this rock solid credit and a huge down payment. Now, cash, if you're paying with cash, you really can't close any sooner than 7 days anyway. So if you're going with a buyer who needs 10 or 12 days or whatever to close their non-contingent offer that is financed, what are you going to choose? You're going to choose at that point which one is the higher price. So just because cash is king, unless cash is actually at that price, you're not going to choose the cash offer. And a lot of the times, these cash offers, they want to get something of a discount because they feel that cash is king and therefore they should be able to pay less. Many cash buyers feel that way, but you as a seller should know that many of these financed offers, they are actually very, very good offers. The buyers are really, really solid. And if they're rating you an offer without a loan or an appraisal contingency and they have a big down payment, there really is not a lot to worry about. So unless that cash offer is the same price or, geez, really close to that financed offer, many sellers would just logically prefer to go with the offer that is somewhat higher, maybe $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 higher for the financed offer, because cash doesn't have the same kind of power that it used to be. So when you get an offer and it's a cash offer, you really want to look and see where is that cash, what's it coming from, is it a gift letter, right? Make sure it's actual cash, and if it's not, understand that that is not the same as real cash, and then look at what other competing offers you may have, and understand that today's finance buyers are much, much stronger than they were, say, 10 years ago. All right, well, that's all I have for this video. I hope you have enjoyed watching it, and if by any chance you have enjoyed watching it, I'm guessing that you may also enjoy some of these videos over here. These are some of the most popular videos here on my YouTube channel, so please do take a look. All right, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and please stay tuned.